She grew up dreaming of love, not knowing that over 750 million people would one day watch her wedding, and that every moment after would cost her pieces of herself. Called the People's Princess, Diana was adored around the world. Yet even behind palace walls, she was more exposed than protected. If millions truly loved her, why was she never safe? The answer is found in the life she never chose. Diana Frances Spencer was born in 1961 at Park House, on the edge of the royal estate at Sandringham. Her childhood was shaped as much by privilege as by uncertainty. The grand rooms of Althorpe, her family's ancestral home, could not protect her from the pain of her parents' separation. By the time she was 6, her mother had left, and Diana's world had split in two. Custody battles played out in the headlines. The real impact was quieter. A young girl learning to tiptoe around tension, trying to keep the peace. She became shy, careful with her feelings, always seeking approval. As a teenager, Diana found comfort in caring for others. She took jobs as a nanny and a kindergarten assistant, finding purpose in the small joys of ordinary life. Before the world watched her every move, Diana was simply a young woman, searching for connection and belonging. On July 29, 1981, the world paused to watch a wedding unlike any before. Diana, just 20 years old, stepped out of a glass coach and into St. Paul's Cathedral, her dress trailing for 25 feet behind her. More than 750 million people tuned in from around the globe. Crowds lined the streets of London, pressed against barricades, hoping for a glimpse of the new princess. In that moment, Diana's life became public property. Every glance, every gesture, every word was broadcast and analyzed. The fairy tale was no longer private. Her story belonged to millions. The applause was thunderous, but the expectations were heavier still. The cameras never blinked. From the balcony at Buckingham Palace, Diana waved to a sea of faces, her smile now a symbol. The world's gaze would not turn away. What began as a celebration quickly became an unending spotlight, and the girl who once cherished quiet moments was now seen by everyone, everywhere, all at once. Inside the palace, daily life was governed by rules that left little room for individuality. Diana's schedule was planned by courtiers. Every public appearance was rehearsed. Every gesture weighed against tradition. There were protocols for how to sit, how to walk, even how to greet each person she met. Palace staff watched for the smallest misstep, an unguarded expression, a word out of place, a hemline too bold. Her private phone calls could be monitored, her movements tracked. Even her letters were sometimes screened before they reached her hands. The court circular recorded her official duties, but moments of privacy were rare. The expectation was clear: perfection at all times, no matter how she felt inside. Diana's world became a maze of etiquette and surveillance. She learned to smile on command, to silence her opinions, to move through gilded rooms without leaving a trace. Autonomy faded beneath the weight of centuries-old custom, and the palace itself became both sanctuary and cage. In hospital wards and crowded shelters, Diana reached for hands others turned away from. In April 1987, she visited the Middlesex Hospital and shook the hand of a man living with AIDS, with no gloves and no hesitation. The cameras caught the moment, but the impact lingered far beyond a photograph. Years later, in January 1997, Diana walked through a cleared minefield in Angola. She wore a simple white shirt and body armor, her steps careful but determined, Survivors watched as she listened to their stories, her presence lending weight to a cause too often ignored. Her voice, sometimes trembling, spoke openly about pain, about eating disorders, about feeling invisible. For many, hearing a princess admit to struggle was an invitation to be honest about their own. Diana's compassion was not distant. It was lived, seen, and felt by those who needed it most. In 1995, a trusted journalist from the BBC, Martin Bashir, approached Diana's brother with forged bank documents. These papers falsely suggested her closest staff were being paid to betray her, fueling fears of surveillance and conspiracy. Convinced by the evidence, her brother introduced Bashir to Diana. The trust that followed opened the door to an interview seen by nearly 23 million people. The Dyson report later revealed the full extent of the deception. Bashir's forgeries and false claims had manipulated Diana's sense of safety, deepening her isolation. The bond between Diana and the institutions meant to protect her was quietly, irrevocably broken. After the divorce, the safety net that once surrounded Diana began to unravel. In February 1997, a letter from the Home Office confirmed that her Metropolitan Police protection would end. The Queen approved the decision, and Diana was no longer entitled to state-funded security. She was offered continued police protection if she carried out official royal duties, but she declined. From that point, Diana relied on private arrangements, sometimes organized by those outside her own circle. Public outings with her sons became quieter, more guarded. The presence of official protection faded, replaced by a sense of exposure that followed her everywhere. As Diana tried to build a private life, the protections that should have shielded her fell away. She was visible to millions, but when she needed safety most, she was left to face the world alone. Privacy is not a privilege. It is a human right. Diana's story warns us, adoration without protection is still exposure. The real cost is paid in silence. Thank you for watching.